Journal. You can also hear him regularly on ESPN Radio 1100. Buffalo Bills fan. Adam Hill is with us. Adam, good morning, sir. How are you?
I mean, I was feeling so good about that intro, and then you had to throw my Bills fandom in there.
I debated whether or not to throw that in there. I like this new head coach, though. Fiery guy. I'm on board.
Oh, really? And then come in, take over, control the team, and then start shipping out all the good players. Yeah, that's a good start.
Hey, man, frantic in Buffalo these days before the regular season opener. Well, I trust our listeners didn't necessarily tune in for that. Not to say we won't get back to the Buffalo Bills and circle the wagons before we get you out of here, but so you strike me as a night owl. Is this an early call time for you today or not so much? I guess you're probably hopping on the radio here pretty soon.
No, 3 o'clock, my show, so I got a lot of time here. 10:45, when you told me that, I was like, dude, what are you trying to do to me? But I made an exception for you guys.
All right, so you have been ringside, octagon side for some massive, massive fights. We've all been burned by expectations at times, but how would you assess your excitement for August 26th?
You know what? I'm excited for everything around the fight. I'm excited for what is the weigh-in's going to look like, what's fight week going to look like, what's that last press conference going to look like. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a -3 for the actual fight. But everything about it, like isn't this what like the sport and sports in general is all about? Like the event, like that's what Vegas is. That's what I feel like that's a cool thing to be a part of. So I'm excited to be a part of it. In whatever way that we as media people are. But the actual fight, like I honestly don't think I could be any less excited for it.
Oh, well, I'm glad we have you on that, and we'll see if we can turn you around at all by the end of this. So, when this fight was announced, though, candidly, and you and I have spoken off the air, Kenny and I were both of a similar belief that Conor had about a 10% chance to win. Now, I'm sure you would laugh that off. Some said it was low. Many others said we were giving Conor too much credit. I mean, what kind of chance are you giving Conor? Sounds like not much, and has your opinion changed over the last 4 or 5 weeks?
I think 10% is preposterous. I think that's insanely high. I think it's like 2%. Like, of course there's a chance. There's always, when two guys start swinging punches at each other, like, at a bar fight, you could just watch and see, oh, that guy's way better than the other guy. He's going to knock him out. Like, that could even happen. Conor's a trained fighter. Conor's been, trained to throw strikes, to throw punches his whole career. Like, this is not, I know that he's never boxed before, but he knows how to throw a punch. We know that. We've seen it. He's got a shot. But listen, Floyd Mayweather is the best to ever do it, at least defensively. Like, he's the best defensive fighter we've ever seen. Every fighter that steps in there with him thinks they have a plan, thinks they have a strategy, thinks they're going to be able to beat him, and nobody can even challenge the guy. He is sensational. So when I say I don't think Conor has a chance, it's really not a knock on Conor. Like, I think Conor has been incredible at, making the most of his talents, at, telling you what he's going to do and doing it. You can't really doubt the guy that much anymore. But Floyd is just that good. Like, I'm in awe every time I watch Floyd fight, even though I'm not a big fan of him, and a lot of the things that he's done outside the ring. Like, I have to admit that the guy is just amazing at what he does. And now Conor's going to try for the first ever time he steps in a boxing ring, it's going to be against that guy. And even if it was like a sensational fighter, some great boxer, I think Conor would have a better chance than against the best defensive fighter that we've ever seen. I don't know how he's going to be able to penetrate the defenses of Floyd Mayweather. I can't see it.
Now, are you not excited because you just don't think it's going to be competitive, or this is going to be another case of Floyd Mayweather kind of selling a fight that isn't the, I mean, again, brilliant boxer, there's no doubt that cannot be denied, but is it because, he goes out there and it's just not very exciting, or is it both?
You know what? I'll amend myself and say that was my grumpy media member, voice talking. Like I said, the entire spectacle is sensational and amazing. I can't wait for everything. But I just keep thinking in my head that, yes, it's going to be Conor McGregor stepping in there, having all this confidence, thinking that, he said the other day, like, people that he's got nothing and think that he's terrible, but, like, boxers are going to study him for years forward. Like, I think he really believes that. I think he has this confidence that what he's going to do is going to change the complexion of the entire sport, and everybody's going to copy his style. So, like, I'm excited to see what he goes in there and does. And when the fight starts, but I just have this image of Conor stepping in there, having this great plan, thinking it's going to work, and like 3 rounds in, he's like 3 for 62 in punches, and you're just like, here we go again with Floyd Mayweather. Like again, I'm in awe. I could not think more highly of Floyd Mayweather as a boxer, but every time he steps in, we see the same thing happen. He mystifies his opponents. He leaves them perplexed. They can't touch him, and then you're like, wow, that was a great performance, but it really wasn't that exciting. So how is Conor, who's never done it before, going to be any different than any of Floyd's other opponents?
But
it's tough for me to imagine.
Is there any boxer that you know of that is as good at 40 years old than he was 2 years removed from his last fight?
No, definitely not. But I mean, Floyd is just he's a different breed, right? I mean,
yeah.
I can say that, and I can completely see your point on that. But at the same time, have we ever seen anybody that's like Floyd at all?
Yeah.
On that level, it's insane. And listen, I've been at Floyd's gym a couple of times. It's right down the street from my office, so I stopped by. And then I was at the media day the other day, and I could not. I've been in a lot of media days. I've been in a lot of open workouts. I've been in a lot of gym days. I've been in a lot of just regular training sessions. I've never seen somebody that's going that hard. Like, his gym was, 300 degrees. It was insane in there. And the guy just went hard for over 2 hours and wasn't even breathing. He was dancing and singing at the end of it. I couldn't believe it. And the guy's 40 years old. It's incredible. I thought that might be the one thing. Maybe he's old. Maybe he hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone through a training camp. I wonder what his conditioning is going to be like. And you can't tell everything from, a gym day like that. But my goodness, I could not believe how, he didn't look like he worked out a second, and he'd been going for 2 hours.
It's amazing. Now, if the impossible happens, if Conor goes out there and wins, what happens? Does the earth get sucked into upon itself?
That's crazy. That is completely insane. Again, I don't think it's impossible. I know I'm saying the chances are very minute.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it around 2%. I think it's a minute chance, but there is a shot that, again, Conor is a trained fighter. He's got a big left hand. Could he change the complexion of the fight by landing one big shot? Yeah, of course he can, and do that. He's so powerful in the world of MMA right now. What happens if he then beats the best boxer of our generation? Now, he's the most powerful fighter in 2 different sports? That would be insane to even think what he could do next. Because, it's right now people are skeptical that he even comes back to MMA. I still think he will come back to MMA after he's done with this. But, there's people skeptical. Well, will he just take the payday and run? What happens if he's now the most powerful guy in 2 different sports? I shudder to even think about that.
Yep. Well, at least you didn't insult him then by saying he had a 0 or 1% chance to win the fight. You went 2%.
2%.
So. But that is tremendous insight from the Las Vegas Review-Journal's Adam Hill when it comes to the conditioning of Floyd Mayweather, because a lot of people have been wondering as to how conditioned he is based upon some of the Showtime All Access stuff we have seen. Granted, that is framed to his liking, obviously, and he is going on vacation and everything else. But again, this is a guy whose work ethic, not only has it never been questioned, Adam, but we have raved about it for years. Doesn't drink, doesn't really like weed, whatever else. This is a guy who I find it hard to believe, even though maybe we haven't heard a lot of the 50-0 talk out of his mouth, that he's going to leave his conditioning on the table for this fight of all fights.
Yeah, and John, if there's anybody that's an expert in conditioning, it's me. I mean,
you're the guy. You're my go-to. I love it. So a couple rapid fire questions here with Adam Hill on the way out. Pay-per-view buys, is this a record setter or no?
Oh, 100% yes.
Okay. Your at times co-host on ESPN Radio, Steve Cofield. What % chance does he give McGregor to win?
I think 4.
Double. He doubled your
percentage. I think you guys have inspired me to actually pick Conor when we give picks on this fight next week. So I might do a tattoo at this point. If Floyd Mayweather beats Conor, I might go the money team logo. I just might, dude. I mean, this is the negativity, just a morass of it. All right, Vegas Golden Knights readying for their first NHL season, right? 100 to 1 to win the Stanley Cup, 50 to 1 to win the Western Conference. Question for you. Over under 65 points for your Vegas Golden Knights.
That is an under. They are certainly building for year 3 and 4, so I'm going to go under for sure. But hey, big news for you guys and your region. Looks like they stole like the entire Bruins announce team from radio, and a former Bruin player, the